everyone, this is Lindsay at Passionate Homemaking, and today I wanted to share with you a little bit about coconut milk kefir. And the reason I want to share about coconut milk is because coconut milk is so incredibly nutritious for you. If you've heard me talk about coconut, or I should say, about coconut oil, you know that I love it for the powerful immune boosting effects, as well as the good solid healthy fats that it contains that are so good for our bodies. But first of all, kefir. Why should you make kefir? Well, kefir is very powerfully immune boosting. It stimulates the digestion, protects against yeast infections, lowers cholesterol. It's just a very nutritious probiotic that is beneficial for your entire body and helping your good bacteria to thrive in your body. So I have been making milk kefir for quite some time now. Cow's milk kefir, with the preferred choice for me would be using raw cow's milk. But recently I kind of lost my cheaper source of cow's milk, and so I've been kind of cutting back in that area and exploring in the world of coconut milk kefir. And there are several options online I've noticed. Coconut kefir made from coconut water, which you'll often find if you search coconut water kefir. You'll see people using coconut juice or taking a full raw coconut and using it in that way, cutting it, draining the juice, and making this kefir with water kefir grains. Now, my desire was to be able to simplify the process and gain some good bacteria while using coconut milk. Here's my can of Thai Kitchen coconut milk, because it's a lot cheaper. For example, it's a lot cheaper than coconut juice or buying a whole coconut. It's a lot easier, and so I thought, it's going to save me some money if I take turn, making coconut milk kefir and cow's milk kefir, rotating back and forth, but trying to include coconut milk more in our diet, because coconut milk is very rich in medium chain fatty acids. It supports the immune system by culturing it with the kefir grains, and it has very high antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal properties. And with the kefiring, again, it gives us that good cultured bacteria for our bodies that enable us to be healthy and strong and have good fats. So, today I'm going to show you how to make coconut milk kefir. Okay, so here's my setup. There's two different options that I found that work well for coconut milk kefir. One is using a can, or 2 cans, of Thai Kitchen coconut milk, or any kind of coconut milk. I just prefer this brand because it's very rich, very creamy, and has a really pleasant sweet flavor to it. And this canned coconut milk is a good, excellent option, but there's also a new option on the market. So delicious unsweetened coconut milk. Comes in this half-gallon container. I purchased it through Azure Standard. I purchased both through Azure Standard. But what I like about this is it's a little thinner. It's cheaper than the canned version. I think this was just over $3.50 for half-gallon. Whereas, these cans might be upwards of $2 per 15-ounce container. So I have the option of using a full quart of this or 2 cans of the coconut milk. The only thing I don't like about this coconut milk in the half-gallon container is that it's not very sweet. Actually, it tastes rather bland. Versus the canned taste has a little bit more of a sweet taste to it. So anyway, I've got my quart jar, which I use for culturing all my kefir. And in here, this little jar, I've got my kefir grains. And as you can see, if I can get that in focus there, they're just little globs of 2 globs. In fact, I've got 2 kefir grains, about roughly 2 tablespoons of kefir grains that I am going to culture. Now, you can use kefir grains, or you can use a kefir starter pack or kit, whatever you might want to use. It's a lot cheaper to use kefir grains. You can buy them online at Cultures for Health, or Kefir Lady. So I'm just going to throw those 2 tablespoons of grains in there. And now today I'm just going to go ahead and use 1 can of this, since I don't have a full amount left over in this jar. So I'm going to pour the remains of here, fill up that, and then the rest I'm going to use with this coconut milk. Now, I'm going to have to scoop this out with one hand. Now it is recommended that you use full undiluted coconut milk. If you dilute it, you will risk killing some of the yeast because they need the full amount of sugar from the undiluted coconut milk to thrive, for your kefir grains to thrive. So I am going to, look at that, it looks like I'm going to need another can. That doesn't fill it all. But you'll get the idea because you don't necessarily have to fill the whole half gallon, but you do want as much as you can for those two tablespoons of kefir grain. Okay, so I've combined the remaining amount of coconut milk from the can with the grains, and this is what it looks like. It's pretty thick. I had to shake it up pretty well to get the thicker canned coconut milk to incorporate. But basically the idea here is that you want to cover, you're just going to cover it with a cloth and allow it to sit at room temperature for about 12 to 24 hours for it to culture. Usually it's usually 24 hours to 36 roughly. There's no really precise time. When it starts to get thicker and have a little bit of a pungent, smell to it, not too strong, but definitely, a little bit of a sour smell to it, then it will be ready. Now, one last thing that's important to remember when making your coconut milk is that it can take a batch or two to adapt and to really make a thick, creamy kefir. So take that into account when you're experimenting. And then it's recommended, after discussing this with extensively with Julie at Cultures for Health, that you return to cow's milk or goat's milk between batches or every 2 batches or so to help refresh the kefir grains so they stay healthy and strong for you. As of now, I'm not sure whether they would thrive well if you continue just with coconut milk. Doing well for you. And also, coconut milk kefir is an excellent alternative if you don't have a source for raw cow's milk, or even a cheap source for raw cow's milk. Coconut milk will provide you with so many of those good benefits without the fear of drinking other kinds of milk that might not be as best for the health of your family. So coconut milk is an excellent alternative to raw cow's milk and other milks on the market. So try it, give it an experimenting, and I'm going to show you shortly here what the substance will look after I've let it cultured for 24 hours or so. Be back.